our lives. We've got our colleagues at work, we've got our friends, importantly, we've got our families, we've got acquaintances that sort of come and go. I'm a big proponent of talking about people being a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And, by that I generally mean that some people come into our lives for a reason and we learn from them very clearly. Other people are there for a season. They're there for a short period of time. They come in and they go, and we generally have a good time with them. Or if it's business, the project or whatever we're working on does finish, and we move away from that. And then we have those lifetime friendships. These are the friendships that are, or relationships. I'm going to interchange the two words, but friendships and relationships. These are the two sort of areas, or the area where we really, really have to put a lot of energy into it. These are the important relationships. It might be your spouse, somebody that you have committed to, you've got married to, you partnered with, you firmly believe that you're going to be spending the rest of your life with. The other, obviously, lifetime relationships are those of your family and your blood family, people who you tied to through blood and those sort of relationships. So, what do I mean by valuing our relationships? So when we talk about blood relationships and blood family, those relationships are there. They, like any relationship, do need work. It's not something that you can just let go of and just assume that they're always going to be there. But because there is that blood bond, because it might be with your siblings or your parents or whatever, you have that lifelong relationship with those people. Cousins are always considered to be your first friends generally, because those are the first people you start reacting with so often. And again, there's that blood relationship. So we value those relationships, those interactions we have. We value them, and yes, I mean, obviously there can be trouble and strife and all of that sort of thing that happens, but for the main part, we are able to sustain those relationships relatively easily. And it's always important to remember that and to be able to do that, to sustain those. No relationship can get by without any input and work, and a relationship, by the nature of it, is a two-way street. So you obviously have to both parties need to put stuff into that relationship to make that relationship work. Think of that cousin you haven't spoken to that recently, or somebody you might have been very good friends with as a kid or something. Reach out, chat to them, rekindle that relationship, and value what you have in common. You have that familial bond that makes it so important. But there's another type of relationship that I want to talk about, and those are the sort of adult and grown-up relationships that we enter into. And these too may be lifelong relationships, or the lifetime that I was talking about. But it really is something that needs nurturing. Again, it could be your spouse, it could be a friend that you've had all your life. But in order to honestly make those work, we have to work at them. We have to value them. And what do I mean by valuing them? We obviously like the other person. There's a chemistry, there's something between us that bonds us, and we realize that this relationship, this friendship we're going into, is a very, very important one. And there's that old saying, he or she is my BFF, my best friend forever. Well, there's something very real about that, and it's important to have those relationships. But what is also important is to really take a step back in those relationships. There'll be a theme that I talk about, and that theme is taking a step back, really evaluating where we are within those relationships. And sometimes part of valuing our relationships is to understand the limitations of your friend, of that other person. Because we can't ascribe a certain set of values to them. There must be something that has attracted us to that person. And we need to build on what attracts us. But if they have a habit of, or something that we don't necessarily like, or that puts us off a bit, unless it goes against your absolute core values, they may be a habitual liar, they may be, they may eat badly, loudly, or something like that. Something that is fundamental to you and really puts you off. So if they're a habitual liar and have lied to your detriment, then maybe it's worth not allowing this relationship to continue. But if it's something that you can put into context, so some people, I'm going to go with the lie theme, some people may say, oh, they lie. Okay, maybe all they do is embellish the truth to create a good story or something along those lines. Who knows? But if you identify and know where their, and I'm going to use a strange word, weaknesses are, then you can actually build on those friendships and maintain them and put the value into those friendships. That is so important. Look around you. See who those people, those important people are to you, and make it your business this week to reach out to those people and have them as your touchstone, somebody that you can touch when and always have that close connection. I hope you've got a lot of those in your life because they are very important people. Have a wonderful week.